guys, Kat here. I decided to do a follow-up on the Making Peace with Food video, which you can find here, or is it? I still can't remember. But anyway, on my Instagram stories, I had a questions thingy where you can write in if you had any more questions, like follow-up on the video that I made. And a few of you responded, so I thought I would go more in depth about that. So first question, what steps did you take to cope with eating more or being okay with gaining weight? All right, so first off, I had to take a step back and ask myself, is this how I want to live the rest of my life? Do I want to live the rest of my life in fear of food, scared to go out to restaurants with friends, just being like disgusted with how my body looked? Is that how I wanted to live? And the answer was, of course, no. So in order to change that, you have to make changes. I stopped doing a lot of things like weighing myself, tracking my foods. I stopped labeling food as good or bad and more so as macros, so breaking them down into protein, carbs, and fats. So again, just like I said in my other video, instead of thinking of like a Cinnabon as like, that's a bad food, it's mainly just carbs and fats, in which the carbs help me with energy, and then the fat helps me with like cellular function and absorption of nutrients and stuff like that. And something I temporarily stopped doing was look at myself in the mirror when I would change my clothes or something like that, because if I did that, I would tend to pick apart my body and be like, oh, there's too much blah blah here and blah 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 here. So that was just like a temporary thing until I felt like more mentally stable. And then there were a few things that I started doing, like I started to allow myself to go to restaurants and then order what I wanted, not like what I thought would be a good thing towards my goals. It was like, no, you know what? I want this. I'm not gonna fear it anymore. And then that actually made me usually eat less because I was satisfied with the food that I was eating rather than feeling deprived for what I wish I could have had instead. I also started to wear clothes that made me feel good. So I went through my closet, I did a lot of minimalizing, and I took out the clothes that even if they like fit me, they just didn't make me feel good about myself. So I gave those away and I felt a lot better. Even if it was like clothes that had like bad memories to it, I would get rid of those too, and that actually helped like a lot. I also started to focus more on performance goals rather than weight goals, and like learning new skills like the bow staff you guys have seen. I've developed some new skills in that, so that's exciting. And then I also started just reminding myself daily, like several times a day, that these were good steps to take for myself and that I didn't want to keep living this way and that it was going to be a struggle for a while, but there's hope and there's light at the end of the tunnel. This is something that I still do sometimes, because sometimes I still have those days where I'm like, I feel so gross about myself and I don't want to eat this food because it's bad for me, kind of thing. But yeah, I just have to take that step back again and just remind myself that, hey, it's okay, and yeah, take care of myself. Mentally and physically. All right, question 2. When you allowed yourself that restricted food, how did you get over the feeling of gaining weight? So I had a few fear foods. One of them was like avocado. Another one was like any sweets kind of thing. So again, I didn't weigh myself. That's a big thing because sometimes, you know, you feel good in the morning and then you're like, wow, I feel leaner. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, I look awesome. And then you weigh yourself, you're like, ah! So that helped to get rid of that feeling of gaining weight. And then another thing again was reminding myself that I don't want to keep living like this. And then breaking it down, it's carbs, proteins, and fats. It's not good or bad. So like the protein was gonna fuel my muscles, the carbs was gonna give me energy, and then the fat was gonna help me with, you know, again, nutrient absorption, stuff like that. So yeah, I did have to remind myself that I might gain weight during this process of me making peace with food, and that was just I was just gonna have to get over that, really, because I thought there's just so much more to life than worrying about eating food. Like I remember being in such awe of watching my friends eat food and then leave food behind like on their plate, and I'm like, what? I feel like I always have to eat everything on my plate. And yeah, so I made that one of my goals, is to be like okay with leaving some food on my plate. And of course, wear the clothes that make you feel good with the body that you have now. So even if you gain some weight, it's okay. Remember, it could be part of your process. It could be part of your journey. Yeah, so you just kind of have to be okay with it and remind yourself what's most important to you right now. All right, number 3. Do you ever feel yourself slipping back into anorexia and guilt? This used to happen a lot more for me when I first started my recovery. It was just a roller coaster. There were a lot of bad days, and then there are some good days and stuff, but as time went on and as I took more steps into recovery, I had way more good days. And if we're speaking about like right now, I do sometimes feel guilty about having, you know, more of the junk foods or whatever. But then I do have to take that step back and just remind myself of, hey, it's okay to enjoy foods that aren't so healthy for me. And it's awesome to just live life. And you know, sometimes I do feel guilty about eating those foods because I'm like, is this respecting my body right now? Like, am I giving the fuel that it needs? But again, living life. Gotta live life sometimes, as in all the time. I do also recognize my triggers though, and I tend to resort back to like that restricted thinking when I, for example, see like a tagged picture on Facebook that I'm like, is that what I look like? But to be honest, like people have come up to me before that do my videos and they're like, you know, you're a lot leaner than what I see in your videos. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Because sometimes I look at them and I'm like, am I that big? So that whole like, the camera adds 10 pounds true. It's actually kind of true, not gonna lie. Another trigger for me is if something in my life feels like out of control, out of whack. It's like, okay, well, I'll just not eat this and blah, 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 because it's something that I can control. And then sometimes if I get a mean comment on like social media or something like that, then I will feel like I need to not eat as much. But again, it's about taking that step back and realizing, no, I'm okay, I'm doing great. And also sometimes I have to get feedback from other people. Like I asked Justin, or like I vent to him about something and then he helps me to snap back to reality and be like, you're doing great, it's all good, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, sometimes you might need someone from the outside to remind you. Just remember to take that step back when you have those feelings, even if you need to journal or you need to vent to someone, and remind yourself that you're doing just awesome right now, you're beautiful, and there are more important things in life, and just concentrate on your performance goals, what fuels your body to conquer them, and to be your happiest and healthiest self. Question 4, body dysmorphia and self-image. So I guess that's not really a question, but more of a topic to cover. Again, I still get body dysmorphia sometimes, so avoiding things like weighing myself, eating foods that make me feel gross, those things tend to trigger that body dysmorphia. And if you remember my post about my legs that I wrote on my Instagram a little bit ago, it really is about taking that time to remind yourself of what that certain body part that you have does for you. So for like my legs, they help me to explore and do all the things that I love and to lift heavy weights and do all this ninja stuff. So again, concentrate on what your body can do for you. That is huge. And also it is about following up with those thoughts, those negative thoughts that you have about yourself. So if you have those negative thoughts, again, you can't change them after they've happened, but you can follow up with a positive thought. So make sure you follow up with like, my legs are fat. Then you follow up with, well, my legs are so strong. They help me to do the things that I want to do and jump and dance and all that jazz. So remember to keep making a routine for yourself to remind yourself of all the positives about your body. And I cannot stress enough how much performance goals have helped me so much to love and to appreciate my body. And to also just see it as this like strong machine. It's very cool. And even me taking like Instagram videos of the workouts that I do, I look back on them like, dang, I'm cool. If I ever have kids, I want to show them this and be like, yo, your mom was dope. And they'll be like, okay, mom, whatever. I will still think that I'm awesome. So make performance goals, whatever kind of crazy thing you do. You see all my ninja stuff on my Instagram, or you don't, whatever. Bow staff, tumbling, working on the bar, calisthenic stuff. Just do what you've always wanted to do and work towards it. And then I had a few like questions that are a little bit less about my making peace with food video, but I didn't want to like throw them away or anything. One is, why being muscular is okay. I see so many fitness people sucking in their stomach in their pics, which isn't realistic. All right, so for this one, I do definitely think that there is a big shift in fitness that's happening right now, where people are being more honest about their bodies and what it looks like and stuff and different angles. You just have to find those people. Like, you're not gonna find those people in magazines, because in magazines, remember, they're creating like a fantasy, and that's totally fine because that's what they do. But I've been looking through like Instagram and stuff, and there are a lot of girls and guys out there that are totally being honest about like, this is pose, this is not pose. So just search for those people and ignore the other ones if that's what's healthiest and best for you. Another thing is to be the change. So if you want to see more of that, then show more of that, because that's gonna just like help create more of that in the industry. And yes, being muscular is amazing. I don't need to be convinced about that. So just be the change, show off your muscles, be awesome, show all the things that you can do with your muscle, and yeah. Next one. If you had to choose one, would it be to eat protein and carbs before or after workout, and why? All right, so this is all gonna depend on when you work out after you eat. Personally, if it was like an hour before my workout, I would have the protein and carbs after. Protein takes longer for your body to digest, so it's not gonna work for everyone. They might feel like sick when they're working out. Another thing is you want to fuel your body with that protein after you've broken down your muscles during your workout, because proteins are those building blocks for your muscle to create bigger and stronger muscle. Then carbs give you your energy. Don't be afraid of carbs. I love carbs. I eat like 80% carbs and it's amazing. It's so good, so delicious. I love bread. But it will be different for everyone. So make sure to find out what works best for you and your body. All right, last question. So I saved this for last because I know if I didn't, a lot of people would probably turn off the video, because some people just don't want to hear about this topic, and that's fine. So if you don't want to, make sure you like this video, comment before you leave. My last question was how and why you went vegan. And it's funny because the third video for my what I eat in a day vlog, I put vegan athlete in the title, and I literally got 9 dislikes within the first few minutes. And I'm like, well, you obviously didn't watch the video at all. People just hate hearing about veganism. So if that's you, okay. If it's not you, yay. If you watch my second What I Eat in a Day, I was starting to transition to vegetarianism. I explained in it briefly, like, hey, for some reason I find meat disgusting right now. I'm really not sure if it's a phase. I wasn't even looking to be vegan, and I did state that in there too. So during this process and stuff, I had found Simnett Nutrition's YouTube channel, and I was watching his Q&As, and he's a vegan athlete. He's crazy awesome, gives amazing info. And I had found his video because I was looking at calisthenics, so it wasn't even for being vegan. And the information that he was giving out and stuff, I'm like, oh, you know what, that's pretty cool. And this in line with my best friend being vegan, I learned a lot. So with those two things, and then also doing research on my own, I'm like, I think this is for me. Like, realizing just the impact of how it can help not only like saving animals' lives and stuff, but also the environment, and then also just like respecting your body and everything like that. I was like, I think this is for me. So yeah, I hadn't even watched any of those like Netflix documentaries until after I became vegan. So in short, when I tell people like why I became vegan, it's because it is the kindest thing to do for you, for animals, and for the environment. So yeah, that is the shortcut, the Cliff Notes reasoning to why I just wanted to keep it short. So if you guys want to hear more about that, let me know. Let me know what kind of topics you guys want me to cover in future videos. I would love to hear from you. That would be amazing. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more awesome videos. Next week we will have a workout. I also really appreciate if you guys would share this video or whatever video on my channel with your friends, family, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Spread the word of yayness and roars. And remember to follow me on Instagram at @CapsuCFitness. Right here. Mama. I post all the fun stuff. All right, see you guys soon. Roar. Oops.